What a day. What a day, you guys. Like, seriously. Okay, hang on, because I have to find you. You know that. So if you guys want to chat, you actually have to go onto YouTube. So it's YouTube. You're like, you're so smart. YouTube.com/Namaste Farms. Okay, I have to, what I did is then I was really you guys, honestly, I think that people are starting to think that I have a problem with my brain, and I think I really do. It's either too much alcohol or I'm pre-Alzheimer's. Okay, which has nothing to do with anything. But do you guys, am I ever going to get like an actual thing that doesn't rattle? Anyway, the other thing is, besides the fact that this is Yarnitarian, is that my internet, you guys, I couldn't even teach my classes, which a lot of you know because a lot of you were in my classes. Okay, I know that I said the Google dongle, like if you were here for the first episode, it was the Google dongle's fault. And then it was YouTube Live's fault. Okay, I actually have ferreted it out again after spending another 6 hours with the people that from Netgear that actually can look and see all the devices on. They're like, there's something that's running in the background and downloading. It's just downloading. We turned off all of our devices. Nobody was online, and it's just running. And so, of course, you start getting paranoid, which is the first place I go to. It is crazy. I go to, I'm like, somebody has our password. Like, who's going to have our password? We live in the country. Because you just think that maybe your neighbor, I don't know. It's stupid. But Jenny, my friend, her iPad that she has not updated, even though it was not connected to the internet, it was putting itself on the internet, and just because it's got an outdated operating system, like since she bought it like 4 years ago, it's just perpetually in motion. So ever since Jenny's been here, which is maybe June, the internet is horrible. And this whole time it was that. She felt so bad. She was like, I want to pay for your new encoder. Like, she was just like, oh my God, the people hate, are so mad, and they get mad, and I've wasted their time, and I can't, whatever. I was like, Jenny, you didn't know. But I just do want to kill you. Just kidding. I don't want to kill her. She's so, this girl cleans. She gets a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie. She does. She's neurotic, and she cleans. I'm like, you can go ahead and be neurotic as long as my house is clean. But she's not really supposed to be doing much because she is her back. She has a herniated disc. You're like, and you make her work? No, I don't make her work. It's just part of her thing. It's part of the thing that she has to do to make herself feel fulfilled. Some of us have to stay busy. Okay, so I have to find you guys because I don't know which one of these links you're on. Because I made 2 links for the episode 5. Okay, I'm so sorry. I love when I do that. I love to hear myself. It's great. It drives me crazy, actually. Okay, hi everybody. Hi Amber and Candace and Susie Q. And another Am. I totally do every time I feel like it on Romper Room. I see Natalie and I see Amber. I see. Anyway. Okay, you guys, it's kind of been, hi Mary and hi Nancy Pearl. You guys, I'm not kidding you, like my life has sucked. You guys are like, stop saying your life sucks. No, it does suck. I try to not say that it sucks, but it's not the best right now. I've had a lot of, you guys are like, but you don't self-disclose it, so it's painful for us because we just want to know what is going on. It's so painful that I don't even want to self-disclose it. It's been really bad. The good news is Scrappy's okay. The bad news is, oh my gosh, I don't know why I was doing this, but I was just checking out his teeth, so I was like putting my finger, and guys know I bite my nails, so I don't have any fingernails. So I was like just checking his teeth, because when I got him, he must have only been, when you can tell a dog's like around a year because their teeth are perfect, right? And I noticed like he had so much plaque on this one tooth, and I told Jenny, oh my God, look at how gross this is. And I took my little corn nubbin nail and I like hooked it on it, and a big chunk and part of his tooth came off. And then I ate it. Just kidding. You guys are like, that's really disgusting. No, everything of his I love. When you love someone, even plaque is good. You're like, no, it's not true. Anyway, other than that, you guys, it was absolute hell because I have a new class of Dye Secrets, and they've only had 2 classes in one. Okay, I swear to God, there's something wrong with my brain. So the first class, I said, okay, you guys, it's great. We'll see you next week, same time, same place on Saturday. Well, the problem is that I apparently had decided it was going to be Christmas break when I made the schedule. And so there was no class scheduled. So I showed up for class. Like the camera, everything. And everything actually was working. Jenny must not have been here that day. And, nobody was in there. Nobody was in. Like, I was looking in chat and I'm like, why isn't anybody here? Like, I was completely confused. But then one person showed up and I was like, and she's like, what, is there no class today? And I was like, I don't know. It's my business and I don't know. I had to go online and look, and it actually didn't even say like Christmas vacation. It just didn't have a class schedule. So it's like, then I had to let the other two class, you guys, they just think they must think that either I'm really careless, like I just don't care about people's time. They must think that, or that I really have a serious mental problem, like I'm really having some sort of a deficit. But what it is, I truly believe that when you have a ton of stress, and then you are really busy, and then this is the one that compounds it right here. I'm gonna bring it home, baby. Alcohol. Alcohol, because you're like numbing yourself. So at night you drink, right? I don't drink a lot. You're like, yes you do. Don't lie. Well, I don't drink a lot, and I drink like 3 beers, sometimes 4. It used to be 1.5. So that shows you how great my life is. And now I don't even care. I'm like, you know what? Being an alcoholic at this point is probably an okay thing, because it makes me feel better. You're like, that's how it starts. That's the gateway. Anyhow, but I think that's what it is, part of it. So speaking of which, okay, you guys know that the Airbnbs, you guys, this is like passive income, so I can't mess this up. I can't. And there's a gal that was coming from Brentwood, she's staying for 3 days. And so she says, you know, I'm coming for my husband's birthday. We're coming for my husband's birthday, and et cetera, et cetera. So of course they only put one person, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to have to tell people. I just don't. But about, I would say 10% of the people only put one person, and you get charged more. That's just the way that these things are set up, is that you get charged more per person, right? So I have to like let them know. So I write her this. First, what I do is I send her the information for the wrong cottage, and then I immediately, but it's like this long, right? But then I immediately go, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. And I send her, I said, that was the wrong cottage. This is the cottage you're staying in. So I sent her the new one. So now she's got 2 giant like new messages. And then I simultaneously noticed that she didn't put the right amount of people. So then I write her this as nice as I can, say, you know, basically you need to change that because this is how we make our living. And of course, Airbnb, that's how they make it, and we really appreciate it, you know. And so could you please do that? She writes me back about, and so I actually put the thing where you can put the thing, change reservation. So it's sent to her, and it's going to charge her, because she's going to be here three days. It's going to charge her $90 more. So she writes me back and she goes, I didn't accept your request because I'm only one person. And I'm like, she's such a liar. These Brentwood people, these Beverly Hills people, right? From LA. I'm like, she just got done telling me, and I look and I read, and she's one person, all right, it was someone else. You guys, you're like, it might be a good thing to check and recheck. But what happens, and this isn't a lie, is that once you have so many people coming in and out, you cannot remember. I'm not kidding you. It sounds crazy. Even if you've talked to them and visited with them, you cannot remember which one it was, you know, which one you did this with, or which, you know, whatever. You just can't. It's really a crazy thing. You're like, stop the alcohol at night. No. It's one of my few happinesses. Please don't take it away. Okay. Oh, and then Nancy said that she missed last week and is anxious. And then, oh, and Candace is 40. Candace, that's kind of a milestone, huh? It's all down here from here. Just kidding. Actually, my grandmother used to say this, and I used to think she was full of shit. She used to say, I would never, it was really hard for me to believe. I would never want to be 20 again. And I'm looking at her as like a 25-year-old going, yeah, right. No, I get it now. It's the mind thing. Like, if you're, I think a lot of us are I was so, defensive and like protective of my, you know, nervous, like such a nervous person. And I'm still nervous. I'm still a nervous person, and I have nervous energy and high blood pressure, etc. But I'm just better about being able to shrug things off. You're like, that's right, because you get drunk every day. That's the answer. But I don't know. I mean, she was onto something. She was so hot. I'll never forget. She was like 55 years old. Never forget. First, she did a cartwheel. Which at the time, you guys, 55 now is like the new, like, you guys are like, what? The 55 is like the new 52? No, like the new 40, right? I don't know. Something like that. There's something like that. Which doesn't seem impressive, because now, you know, everybody's super athletic. But this was, I mean, she died when she was 80-something just recently. So, and some young guy, I'll never forget, there was like 35-year-old trying to pick her up. Like, seriously, I mean, I was there. And I really thought, this is what I thought, not how hot is my grandmother. She was hot, by the way. I thought, what's wrong with him? That's what I thought. I know. Young people are so nice. They're so charitable, aren't they? Okay. Yes, and happy birthday, Candace. And then Candace says she's learned too much to go back. Hi, Christine Kuhn. And then Amber asked if I had my glasses on. And then Susie Q says, we're all human and it's good. And then Nancy said that she tried YouTube again and got on. And Chastity said, at 20, we think we know everything. It's not until we get older that we realize just how dumb we are. Oh my God. Boy, is that, you know, mine was not good for sure. Like I was living in Hong Kong and I had pretty bad relationship over there. But I think a lot of it has to do, I think it's difficult, and I'm sure that there's some of you are married to people that aren't from your culture. So if you're with someone from your own culture, if they're not like a person that can obfuscate well, people that are really good at hiding can hide anything. But it's, you know, it's easier for us to judge what kind of person they are, right? Because just the things that they say about what they've done in their childhood, or, you know, what kind of school they went to, and, you know, just association, things that people that they were in high school, that kind of thing. But when it's someone from a different culture, and that speaks a different language, as their first language or several languages, it's very difficult to judge what type of person they are. Like, it's really hard to get a read on whether they're lying about something. And so, like, in my own situation, that was it, is that it was really hard to know who this person was. And then I lived with them for 4 years, maybe 4 years when I was modeling them. And it was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal. But, you know, you live and learn. My neck will never be the same because he used to put me in headlocks. Although, let me just tell you, I'll never forget. Like, I did talk to him, I want to say it was like 15 years ago, and he called me Ninu. He had a really pretty heavy French accent. And he said, Ninu, you cost me so much fucking money. That's what he said, and I did. Let me tell you, that's where I would get him back. If I needed to get him back on something, it would be in the pocketbook. Like, I just was mean. I'd get him back. And I'm not a vindictive person, but you have to feel powerful. Like, if you're being, if you in some way are being victimized, like, you have to get your power back. And sometimes, you know, I'm the absolute antithesis of a passive-aggressive person. But at the time, because you can't do it with, you can't physically fight a man, you really can't, that you have to get really creative. And, you know, you hit them where what's most important to them. And for him, it was like material things. So, like, if he did anything to upset me or hurt me, whatever it was that was his prized possession would be gone very shortly. You're like, wow, we really know the real you. That was then. Now I have actual, like, I wouldn't date somebody like that, right? We would just be done. Conversation over. Like, you know, one of the first questions. So, have you ever hit a girl? Which most people would lie. But I think you can kind of, I think the degree of horror, because especially, I have noticed, I will notice, you know, I mean, I'm just, you know, still like, I don't know, I'll throw that out there. I don't know, as bait sometimes just for people I meet. And some guys will take a millisecond to answer. And just that millisecond in the eye darting, you just know that there's some situation that they just realize that they did hit a girl, but of course they have a great excuse for it. But instead they're going to go, well, you know, not really. Well, you know, not unless she hit me first. Ha, ha, ha. Okay. And then, let's see. And then Renee's Crochet Design says, my daughter just turned 20. It's such a great, that actually is, because you have your whole life in front of you. And then Nancy said, he clearly deserved, I love Nancy. Nancy's throwdown. Tiny and throwdown. And Amber says, my husband says I'm 32 going on 70 because I'm because I'm always spinning and knitting. Hey, no, I'm telling you, like, knitting, like, I think we need to make knitting. I'm telling you guys, this is my story. My story is that there are way more knitters that are, like, you know, that can relate to us in some way, whatever it is that we are. Because what happens, what I've noticed is that younger people, and this isn't you, I'm not saying you, but I remember thinking this, like, seeing older people, because our brains actually get very stodgy. They do. We want to go the same way, just things that are familiar, and that's how you end up not staying youthful, that you have to keep making new pathways, neural pathways, by not doing the same things over and over again. But we think about, when we're younger, about older people doing these very sedentary and solitary things because, you know, being more of a homebody. And I think it masks the fact that these people have a history. So some of them were prostitutes. Garrett, I know, because I know some. Some of them were swingers, and I know, because I know some of them. And some of them, you know, people that, you know, have had children die or were molested or, like, had, you know, but they just look like little old ladies. You would never know their history. It's crazy, but if we could like peel off the outer covering of like age, we would be able to see that we relate to them in so many more ways than we know, and that the idea of age doesn't matter. The idea of age doesn't matter once you have something in common. You're like, you're so full of shit, Natalie. No, I'm not. I'm not. I really believe that. Let's see. Hello, Liz, and greetings from California, my friend. And then Amber Pilkington says, my husband says the same thing. I'm the youngest old lady he knows. That's so funny. Yeah, I don't know, but isn't it? It's really. I mean, there's like I was watching this because I like, you guys are like, we already know you watch porn, etc. But there are these things that they, especially in England, they have those. What are the? Oh my God, you guys, embarrassing bodies. They have like they are not shy about showing somebody's cock. Like they full on, like a guy will come in here and go, yeah, I got a rash on my cock and I can't, or my bits in my, what do they call it? My bits and pieces. I don't know, whatever. My junk. And he'll just like fully like flop it out and they like pan right to it. I'm like, oh, I'm interested. Like there's one that's all about guys. Like the entire thing is about guys. I'm fascinated by it. And he's like, yeah, I can't really have sex because, you know, it bleeds when I have sex. And I'm just like looking at this poor guy with this really small penis, by the way. And his was fine though. It was like, he was just super sensitive and they're like, you know, make sure that they don't use a lube. That's like, I mean, this is the conversation they were having. It's like, okay, note to self. If I ever know anybody that has that problem, I know what to say. And he's like, you should use condoms, which of course, you know, committed relationships are like, yeah, right. Okay. And then Nancy says knitting and spinning is like greasing the wheels in your brain. I think so, actually. Well, you know what it is? It's very, because we actually don't have a brain that, like people that meditate, and will probably totally disagree with me, but I remember reading about aesthetics, and they were saying that the brain actually isn't wired to not think about, you know, multiple things at once, like be, you know, are wandering constantly, and that's the art of true meditation, is like to keep bringing yourself back. To keep bringing yourself back every time you're, and to me, actually, that sounds like torture. I would much rather do something very meditative like knit or spin, where you just almost get into a trance. It's like a trance. You're just doing it totally by muscle memory, and your mind gets to take a break. Of course, I like other things to take a break. But I mean, like if I'm really going to take a break, probably spinning and knitting is going to be one of them. And I have to also say though, running for me is not one of them. Because I used to be a long distance runner, and so I'd go on, you know, 10 to 15 mile runs, you know, it would be like 8 miles usually. And then, you know, a couple times a month I would, you know, hit 8 to 10 miles. And all I would do is worry. The entire time I would just be worrying. It was, and it's definitely not meditative for me. It's just a time when my mind isn't doing anything except focusing on the fact that, you know, it's difficult, and I have to, you know, I have to pace myself, and I have to take, you know, right, you know, it's like focusing on the route so that you don't have to stop, because it's difficult to find, and especially in cities where you don't have to like hit, you know, stoplights or whatever, crosswalks. But I will, if there's something that my brain kicks into where I don't really have to do anything except the muscle memory, I worry. So it's not good, is my point. That's why I like to do things that are difficult, where I have to really like think of, like really problem solve. You're like, wow. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm reading because it's like going fast and I talk too much. Okie dokie. And then Stephanie is saying that we all have something in common. And that is, I mean, it is true, but it depends. You know what the hard part about that is a lot of people don't self-disclose. And this is the thing. So is that I feel that people need to self-disclose more and be vulnerable, because if you're vulnerable, which I'm going to bring up, I'm going to talk about Jenny. Jenny, I'm sure, is really appreciative that I'm bringing up her romantic life. Like, if you're in my life, you're going to become part of my vlog. And that's just the way it is, because I'm not creative enough to keep remembering what, you know, some pseudonym that I have for somebody is. But this when you self-disclose, there's an authenticity, and then somebody else feels that they can be vulnerable if you're vulnerable. And so then I think that's what really makes great communication, is you both have to be willing to be vulnerable. What does this have to do with Jenny? Well, remember I told her she was like dating that guy that I saw in the grocery store. The problem with Jenny is because everybody brings baggage, right? But some people, I always say there's two things in that two personality traits that people should have, and you can develop them, and it's courage and resilience. So it's not about what has happened to you, because so many horrible things by the time you're my age probably have happened to you. Things that are really, you know, devastating and that could really cripple a person. And so the ability to overcome that and look at them not as and not keep in this cycle of like where it's on loop, and it's, you know, like your hamster on a wheel, and asking questions, things like why, because things that are in the past, they're in the past for a reason, and you know, it should constantly say why. And things like when my daughter killed herself, people would say to me, and it's just such a bizarre question, like why? Like it doesn't actually matter to me. Like me ferreting out why is not productive. What it does is keeps me in the game. It keeps me in a state of sorrow. It really does. But what doesn't keep me in a state of sorrow is recognizing that this is what the reality of what my life is, and that I have to move forward. And that experience actually did teach me that, you know, when I say things, you know, like if I say that my daughter died, or that other people have, you know, the same experience that I've known for years, and it's and then they're vulnerable, and then you become friends, because I think to have deep friendships, and that's really all I want in life, is a deep friendships with people. I don't want anything superficial. I'm just not interested. People have to be vulnerable. So with Jenny, what happened with this guy is that she's got this, you know, she's like very fearful of relationships because her last boyfriend, he was such a nice guy. Like he prided himself on being such a great guy. I love when people do this. They pride themselves on how kind they are, and then he would say stuff to her like, you know what, you would be a terrible mother. But it would be in a mood, and then he would not say. And I mean, she's like, would be an amazing mother, and things like, you know, God, you're so pretty, you're so pretty, you're so pretty. And then he would say things like, except I really hate your lips. Like I just wish, because she has them filled. Sorry, I'm like I zipped my hair up in my pants. You guys are like, wow, you're flashing us. But and so doing stuff like that, saying you're so pretty, but then ripping it away like the next day by saying, I just wish you wouldn't have your lips filled if your lips didn't look like that. Or, you know, it was really damaging to her. So after like 5 years of that, thankfully she moved here, and now they're not together. But so she's really guarded. So they start, and he, you know, he's just gotten out of a relationship too. But Jenny is so like, she's such a warm and wonderful person, but you have to get to know her, and you have to give her a chance, and you have to like not be too forward moving. And he, you know, wants a relationship and is not super forward moving, but he's like clear about what he wants, right? And as he does that, you can see her like recoiling, even though she really likes him. And so even though she really likes him, and she's not the most effective communicator, so the whole thing is so sad. It really is sad, because he's reacting to the fact that she's recoiling, so he's like getting guarded, and then she's getting more guarded because he's guarded, and then now like they're probably not even going to see each other. But the reason why he said that he doesn't want to, he actually offered to go and pick her up today in Huntington Beach, because she had to have like I don't know, so like some spine something. And you're like, you're really concerned, huh? You really know what it is. I don't know what it is, but it's something. And you're like, well, you didn't offer. I didn't. You guys, stop it. Stop it. I have packages that I have to send. You're like, you have packages you need to mess up because you keep messing up on packages. Yes, I do. Anyhow, so he said, he called her and he's like, I just have to let you know that because she smokes like 1 to 4 cigarettes a day. That's what she smokes. I don't even know anybody who can do that. Because, you know, you go straight to the pack. And he's like, I don't really know if I want to date anyone that smokes. Okay, if she was a chain smoker, totally got it. 1 to 4 cigarettes a day, and she's so polite about it, and she washes her hands meticulously. I do recognize, I used to be a smoker, so, you know, I'm one of those ex-smokers. But, I mean, just fucking have balls and just say, I just hate that. I hate the games. But it does feel like a game when you want to date somebody. They want to date you and you want to date them. Then you start getting forward moving, and then they're doing this. So in his mind, he's probably reacting to what he thinks is a game. But it's not a game. It's just the reality of that, you know, she's got baggage, he's got baggage. Like, let's just figure it out. Let's try and be forthright. Somebody's going to have to be vulnerable and make the first move. Otherwise, this is going to happen. So that's where we're at. I was really brokenhearted about the whole thing, because they actually would make a great couple, and they really like each other. It's so stupid. And you know what? At 40, he's like 48 and she's 43. Good luck, guys, because I'm going to tell you, time's running out. You know, you only have so much time in your life. You don't want to just waste it being guarded. You guys are like, we don't care. Oh, come on, you do. Let's see. And then CW is saying, so right on, I was no innocent back in the 70s. See, I'm telling you, CW, totally. I honestly, thank you. I love to be validated. And then Candace says, my two closest friends are old enough to be my mom. That's cool. And then kids don't get the same, they don't get that you still feel the same inside even when you're older, and that is really true. And then Nancy's saying, agreed, I'm like a 16-year-old looking out of the face of it. I know. And then Chelsea's saying that she battles PTSD and panic disorder, and knitting and crocheting keep me focused. Oh, really? And saying, they do. I mean, it's a type of therapy. It is. And especially if you, like if you relate to it, and actually knitting is fairly mathematical. And so, you know, and I don't crochet. So I would like to, you know, speak to that, but I can't. Yes, you can. No, I can't. Anyway, I can do a chain. So you're like, wow. But I see that what things I'm trying to think. I actually really like knitting. You know, knitting is that thing though. I don't like to knit solid colors, but I won't wear something that's not a solid color. So, oh, you guys, I did finish his little sweater vest. I'm going to talk about that later, but I'm just so excited because I finally finished something besides that. Okay, it does make me feel good. Maybe I have to make like Barbie clothes. Like I'm going to make bearded dragon clothes and Barbie clothes and dog clothes, because they're not such a big project that I will like get pissed off that it's taking so long. Like it's like instant gratification, except or I will never be able to wear them, and I'll just watch, you know, all of my animals wearing them. That's stupid. Okay, hang on. Let me read. And then 2 live streams going at once. Yes. So I have to go over to the other one. I don't know why the live stream is on, because I made another. Oh my God, you guys, am I going to have to keep up with both of them? I don't know if I can. My brain, you guys, I'm sorry. I really do think I'm not very bright anymore. I think that something happened to my brain cells. It could have been all the purple microdot and Mr. Natural Bladder Acid when I was a teenager. Okay, and then let me see. Thank you, Christine. And then Deanna says, kids need to learn resilience. Well, my daughter would be alive if she had resilience. Totally, absolutely. And then Stephanie's saying she agrees, but vulnerability is difficult. That's right, but that's what friendships need. Like totally, like to your point. But some people are just naturally, I naturally self-disclose. I just do. That's for some reason, somewhere along the line. Like the things that we repeat and we do over and over again, it is because it's worked. So somewhere I figured out, I don't know where, or I didn't figure out, because I'm not saying it's necessarily a good thing, but I figured out for me, it must have worked, and then I just became this person that self-discloses. There's pretty much, and I'm not lying about this, I don't think you could ask me a question that I would not tell you the truth to. And if it was so painful or personal that I couldn't give you a truthful answer, I would tell you that I would not be able to give you a truthful answer on that, I'm not like ready to give you a truthful answer on that, and so I won't be able to answer it. But I honestly can't think of anything that you could ask me that I would say that to. So, but the vulnerability, you know, once again, if something's not difficult, is it often worth doing? I mean, yes, if we're just talking about, we just want mindless stuff, but I'm talking in general, like if you want a big reward, are there things that really are easy if you want a big payoff? I don't know about that. I don't know. I can't think of something off the top of my head. But somebody has to start. Okay. Christine, can you like copy this link, Christine Kuhn, and copy this link and then put it in the other YouTube? See, now I'm thinking. See, I kicked in. It kicked in. I'm thinking that if you share the link to this, then they can come over here. I had to start the two because I don't know if I I think I might have done an Instagram. That's why I can't shut it down. And what happens is, you guys, I'm going to give you, do you want to learn about sausage? You're like, not really. The sausage making is like this. I have an encoder, and so a feed goes to this encoder, and this encoder splits the whole thing. So it's the thing that sends out to multiple platforms. So this encoder sends out to YouTube, so it can send out, I think I can have 5 channels going at once. So it's the one that splits. So it's not taking up bandwidth from my computer here, or my internet here, it's taking it from the share link, the video, the share link, the encoder. So that's the thing. And I think that I had made that, but I didn't notice until it was too late, and I'd already posted the other one. So I was like, I just have to leave them. And that's the story on that. And you're like, it's a little mean though, because you're like, chat with me, and then no one can chat with you on the other channel because they don't have the link. Okay, so please do that for me, Christine, if you can. She's like, actually, I'm not your personal assistant, but okay. And then let's see, choosing to move. And Amber saying, choosing to move on with life doesn't mean forgetting. That's right, it doesn't mean forgetting. And then Nancy actually knew Jory. Glad you were able to remove yourself from the loop, but Jory would not have wanted you to be. No, Jory actually was a huge empath. God, I just want to cry when I think about it. It's a devastating situation. And you know what? I have to tell you a thing. This is pretty painful, actually, is that I dealt probably as well as a person could deal with a child's death. I dealt with it. I really had to go into my intellectual brain and get out of my emotional brain, because my emotional brain was telling me to kill myself. It was just kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. It's not worth it. You have other children, and they have, who knows what's going to happen with them, and this is so painful. Just kill yourself, because really life is filled with pain, right? I mean, it just was telling me, it was on fucking loop. This thing was just kill yourself. You need to kill yourself. Kill yourself. And then, I mean, because just for whatever reason, it does go to that. It just, and people would say to me, essentially things, like that, Jory wouldn't have wanted that, or, that is actually a good thing to say. She actually wouldn't have wanted that. She really wouldn't have wanted that. She was such an empath. But in some ways, I almost admired her, because this sounds horrible, but it's true. I almost admired her, because while I sat there and pontificated about killing myself, the thought of doing it is just so final. I don't think I have that kind of guts. And somebody could say that's not guts, that's, pain or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. That commitment, like, and so people then again could say, well, she was young, so she didn't really understand. She was raised on a farm. She knows what death is. She knows, she knows. Like, there is so much death on a farm, you guys. And she actually used to say, I feel bad because when my animals die, I don't cry. Well, of course she doesn't cry, because she's seen so many die. I mean, it's just like you start to get desensitized. You learn that life is that part of life is death, and that's just the way it is. It's just a sad fact of life. But you just put one foot in front of the other. That's all I can say. It's a tough thing. Okay, and then Renee was saying, she was saying that that's passive aggressive, but now I can't remember what that was about. But I'm just going to agree with you, because you always say good things. I'm serious. Like, I concur. And then Nancy was saying that guy's really a loser. Oh, is this the one? Yes, we're talking about cigarette. Honestly, he's such a good guy. He's so mature, you guys. Like, it's such a head fake. When they are so mature and the shit that's coming out of their mouth is so good, and then they pull shit like that. Like, I'm telling you. I think we're talking about the same thing. It actually did head fake me. It really did, because I was like, okay, this is so perfect for you, because he's going to teach you emotional intelligence, and you don't have any. This is a good thing. He's going to teach you, like, how to work through, like, what you're feeling, because she just, like, goes into lockdown. If something feels uncomfortable, she's in total lockdown, which almost feels like being frigid. It does. I mean, even if it's not sex, I know that normally being frigid is in more sexual terms, but I'm saying, like, even just in a conversation. But she's really good at empathy. But have you ever had a conversation with someone that has a tremendous amount of empathy, but they aren't self-disclosing? After about, I don't know, 3 hours, just kidding, because 3 hours would be way too long. It's just of you talking about yourself. No. After about like 6 minutes of you talking about yourself and they aren't saying anything about themselves, you start to kind of get it. You're like, okay, they aren't participating in the conversation. They're uncomfortable, and so they've learned that asking questions to you is like a really effective way, because people like to talk about themselves. So they've learned, if I continue to ask this person questions, I never have to just self-disclose anything, because people just love to talk about themselves. So like after about, a few minutes, I normally say, okay, like, I see exactly what's going on, and as much as I love you, you're going to have to start like self-disclosing. Otherwise, we have to have an end to this conversation because it just sounds like I'm a narcissist. You're like, well, you are. No. But I'm think about that. Like conversations with people where they'll just, where they never self-disclose anything and they just keep asking you, which, I mean, it feels nice, but after a few minutes, it doesn't feel nice anymore. It just feels like they're escaping. And then Nancy says that Jory, hi, Trishy. And then thank you so, Trishy, I love you. I love you. I do love her. Thank you, Christine. And then Nancy's awesome, and she does self-disclose. And then Amber says that she's so busy with kids in the farm that she likes to knit and crochet short projects too. Okay, that makes me feel better. And then Christine says they're working good. And Jen Eddington says you can knit clothes for your chickens. Oh, like, because they call them chicken aprons. So like when the roosters mount the chickens, they don't like tear up their backs because the roosters, they end up tearing up the hens' backs. And it's pretty bad. So mine don't right now because I don't know. Do I have more hens? I think I might have more hens than roosters. But anyway, pretty much all of them except for the birds that are the leghorns. So any white birds are in there so that nothing can kill them because when you're a white bird and the moon shines on you, baby, you are toast to a predator. So white animals typically, where there are coyotes, white animals don't live very long unless they're locked away. And then Stephanie's asking about what is about the knit along. Yes, okay, got you. Yes. And we're doing a hat first, right? So this is the thing, I guess, because Trishy's we're gonna talk more about this. So what Trishy said is that, because I had said, well, maybe we need to do one that's like something where there's like, for the crochet people to teach them like knitting, like to teach them knitting. Trisha said that, because we started this thing called Teach It Tuesday in Reading Method group. So it's facebook.com/groups/Reading Method. And there's a bunch of free tutorials on the group. It's pretty awesome because we'd have Reading Method teachers and other people that were really skilled and it would help them, right? So if you're really skilled in something, we have you make a video, then it's a great way to get, your foot in the door and your name out there. Because it's hard to get followers. It is hard to get followers when you first start. And so in Reading Method, there's a couple thousand members, and so instantly you have people watching you. So I mean, genuinely, I want to help people. I really do. I want people to be able to be successful, and success is good for everybody. And even if it's not a business, and you just want validation, I mean, that's completely a valid form of, I need a tremendous amount of validation, a tremendous amount. You guys, it's really. You would be surprised because a lot of people think that I'm ultra confident, and I am a confident person, but there's a team of people really behind me that are always validating me and saying that I'm good at something, or I truly need it. It's like I need a football coach is essentially what I need to constantly tell me that I'm okay and I'm good and I'm worthy, rather than I suck and people hate me and my stuff sucks and my eye for color sucks and like that kind of thing. I mean, I may as well just I honestly I actually do need it, or I'd be tremendously depressed and I would feel worthless. And it's not a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing to need validation from other people. What would be the ultimate? But I don't know. Or if there are people that don't need validation, are they just narcissists? Because there's basic human needs we have, like love. We need to be loved. We need to feel important. You guys should look it up if you want to know, because and this is not a carved in stone thing. Like there's different opinions on what the basic needs are. But I want to say, there's like under 10 of them that I think are the core. Is it like 6 or 7? I can't remember. But there's like that people will identify as the basic needs that we have. And a lot of people will discount these things, like we should be able to like self-generate these things like love, etc. And I understand in theory that would be great, but we are communal people, really. We don't, of course there are people that are loners, but for the most part we want to be connected. Like that's why there's movies, constantly it's all the like romantic movies, etc. Because everybody's trying to find their one true love. I mean, it's unless they've been hurt so many times they're not interested, or unless there's numerous reasons for why but in general people want that. Okay, and then Sandy Dukeshire said she almost forgot what day it was. And then Miss Dahlia, hello. I love Miss Dahlia. Okay, and then Amber's saying they're too late in life to fix someone for the perfect man. You can't change people. I'm not a fix-it person. I am not a fix-it person. I'm just not. Because Every time we're like, let's say we have these behaviors, every time we do them, we're practicing them. And practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanent. That's what my gymnast son used to tell me. Practice makes permanent. And let's see. I'm reading, I'm sorry, you guys. You're like, wow, it's really boring when you read. Sandy's glass shock. Okay, here, I'm showing. And then Sandy Dukeshire says, I'm so empathetic, I even feel bad for assholes. Sometimes I do. So I agree. I'm not, but I don't know why. It's not because of that. I think it's because I feel bad for them that they're so devoid of empathy. I don't know. And then Amber's saying that she's driven when someone tells me she can't do something. She says, watch me. And I understand that too. And then Renee Crochet says, I think we all need some type of validation. And that, I mean, it is true. And then Nancy says, I'm the best. I love you. Makes me. And then you have emotional intelligence. There's a book, Candace Pert, I think, about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, so emotional intelligence is something that it's such a huge component. People think that intellectual intelligence, like IQ, is so much more important. Like you don't hear someone bragging about, there's no like Mensa for like emotional intelligence. Is there? There might be something like that. I don't know. But, people will brag about being in Mensa, but there are plenty of people that work at like gas station attendants. You're like, don't be silly. Everybody pumps their own gas. Well, not in every state, but in California we do. Anyhow, but there are Mensa, people that work in gas stations, that are working at McDonald's, that that are constantly, pontificating about how they're members of Mensa. I think something that's really valuable, if you want to be able to relate to humankind, is emotional intelligence. I think it makes I don't know if it makes your life better, because I have a lot of emotional intelligence in my life. I don't know. I have to do a lot of emotional gymnastics to stay mentally healthy. It's a job. It's a full-time job. And Trishy's like, believe me, it's a full-time job for everybody around Natalie. It actually is. I'm very sensitive. Despite the fact my dad used to say, oh God, what did I say to him? I said, God, it was something to the effect of, I said I'm so incredibly sensitive. I get my feelings hurt really easily. And he said to me, and this is when I was in my 30s, he said, Natalie, anybody that says the stuff that you say to people is not sensitive. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait. So basically I think he was saying that I don't have empathy. Like I can say things to people, but the things I'm saying to them are true. They're factual. Okay, so I guess some things are subjective, right? It's factual because of my perspective, but I wouldn't make a statement of fact that would hurt someone's feelings. That wouldn't be it wouldn't be widely known. It wouldn't be something that was like I'm sure they've heard before. Like a self-centered person, I would say, that was a really self-centered thing to do. So my dad, he just didn't appreciate my candor. I think that's what it is. It's threatening, and it is threatening to a lot of people. Okay. And then Chastity says, I hate to see anyone so young take the yes. At that age, their life really hasn't started, but I can also see how they feel as if suicide is the only, yes, I know. It breaks your heart. It's harder, I think, with the internet, too, because, like, let's say, I'm not saying this isn't the situational story, but let's say you have profound disappointment with something. The profound disappointment can be not just, like, localized, like, let's say the people at your school know, but it can actually now... everybody will know, because it will be on Snapchat. It will be on, it will be on whatever, other Instagram. It will be on there's no, it's so much more global and monumental, because like if you wanted to ruin someone's life in school, like make them feel certainly like their life was ruined, it would be pretty darn easy because of all the social media, and interactions have changed so much, and people online they are just mean. And they're stupid. They say ridiculous things like I put a picture of when I was fitting the sweater on the lizard, and people said, it's like one guy was like, clothes on animals equals abuse. So I was like, well, don't come here because 300 sheep have jackets, right? But I was thinking, okay, then you don't know what abuse is. If you think that's abuse, putting a sweater on a cold-blooded animal, then you're stupid. Okay, let's see. Oh, Amber Pilkington is terrible at just self-disclosing, and she's a master at redirecting conversation. You're the person that I would force to just talk. I'd be like, I'd put the flashlight in your face, and I'd just be like, talk, Amber. I want to hear it. Self-disclose. I would, actually. You're like, stop screaming, Natalie. The mic's right there. You don't have to scream over here. Sorry. And then Penny calls it chicken saddles. And then being empathetic is difficult and painful. You never know what is yours. That's Jory. That was Jory. She was a huge empath. Okay. Now I'm scrolling down. I was scrolling up. Now I'm scrolling down. I'm going to show this. Then Carly's saying more dragon fashion. Wouldn't that, I'm telling you. Okay, so you guys want me to get creative? I should make the dragon a dragon sweater. Like a dragon, like I even can put like a little, there actually is, I don't know how hard, I don't think it would be that hard to do actually. You know, because you have to make your own patterns. You're like, Natalie, but the pattern is this big. It's not like you have to keep track of that much. And when I rip shit out, it's only ripping like, 40 stitches out or 28 stitches. 28 or 40, it just, obviously because I changed needle size, because I changed yarn. Because I started one, I didn't like it because it was a single. It was a single, and I talked about this. The singles often, I love bulky singles. They have really low twist. And I like them because they're so smooth in the knit stitch. They're just smooth. And then I like them in garter stitch because I like the texture. They're just very malleable. What I don't like is that because they don't have a lot of twist, they split. So you have to be, and if you have sharp needles, then it's just, in a really small needle, it makes it a little bit challenging. But that's for the less bulky ones, like let's say a fingering weight. But like for the bulky ones, I dig because it just knits so fast, and it really is a great accompaniment to the handspuns, and it's so much better, because like the bobbins, I even on the like a 2-pound bobbin on Spinolution, I never fill the bobbin on it, even if it's a 2-pound bobbin. It seems like it's about quarter of a pound of fiber is about 50 yards or something like that. So so that's pretty heavy actually when you think about that. So what happens is if you alternate your bulky handspun art yarn with these bulky commercial yarns, it makes things way less, the finished product way less, and you don't have to use as much obviously the handspun yarn because it's stretching it out, because you like do 1 row of bulky or 2 rows of bulky and or two rows of commercial and 1 row of bulky. That's your handspun, 2 rows, and you can't. It almost looks like only your handspun is there. That's the cool thing. If you get a solid color, it's a great way to stretch out. Because I used to I remember I used to use my Magicraft a lot, and on that I want to say it was the Wildflower. You could only fit about 40 yards. 40 yards is about all the Wildflower would take. And so a lot of my skeins were 40 yards. And you can't do much with 40 yards. So that's what I started using bulky stuff that was like similar and equivalent would be like the Malabrigo stuff, the singles. Let's see. And then Candace is saying, and then, oh, Carly's like, knit him a sheep costume. Let him blend in. That is so funny. And Stephanie's saying the sweater is good, not bad. And then Amber's saying she had a boss tell her she's emotionally stable. Asked me if I could get that in writing for my husband and my kids. They'll never believe it. That is so funny. Yeah, but they see you, I call it shrill. Like when I get pissed off, you guys, I get so shrill. Like my voice, I don't have a very high voice. I mean, well, I'll just tell you this. When I was in Hong Kong and I would, call, like say I had a job and I would call for whatever, and they would call me Mr. And my husband is a recording engineer, and so he, has pretty good hearing. And he actually doesn't have good hearing anymore, but at the time he did. And I thought my voice was always kind of deep, and he's like, no, your voice isn't deep, but I don't know. It's not deep. Even if it was deep now, it is not deep when I get pissed off. It becomes shrill. I get shrill. You're like, yeah, that's a common thing for women. We all get shrill. Okay, well, hang on, I'm looking. I like the sheep costume idea. That's good. And then Penny's like, make him a hoodie where you can just see his beard and his nose. Oh my God. You can see like he's like this, and he's like throwing these. They're little hands. They're little hands. I mean, they look like they look like human hands. Kind of, with like long nails. You're like, no, they don't. They look like lizard hands. Oh my God, Archaeopteryx. So anyway, so I was talking to Trisha before we came on today, And she, I said, you know, because of Archaeopteryx, which is like, you know, it's like it's the transition bird, the lizard lizard. And, but they now are finding the dinosaurs. And she's like, Archaeopteryx, how do you remember that? And I was like, well, because I took ornithology. I did. I took ornithology and marine birds. And then I also took game bird propagation. You're like, wow, Natalie, it is all about animals. It really is. To be honest with you, so incredibly interesting. So Archaeopteryx, the first bird, essentially, lizard bird, dinosaur. And now they found evidence that there are dinosaurs that had feathers but didn't fly. You guys are like, who gives a shit? This is just, you know, information. Someday you may do Trivial Pursuit. And that is going to come in handy. Archaeopteryx. Baby. Okay. I like the hoodie idea. Okay, and then Amber's saying, people have a huge misunderstanding of the difference between humans and animals. Yes. These days, yes. For instance, my mom thinks it's sweet to cook her dog dinner every night and her dog is obese. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you know what that is called? Called human selfishness. Human selfishness. And I'm just going to say something. Like, let's say that we're trying to, every time, okay, and people do this because we are selfish. They will only think of things in their terms. So, like, let's say a situation arises with you, for example, and the only way that I can interpret is the way I would interpret it. And you keep trying to tell me I'm wrong because that's not how you feel. And I'm like, no, that is how you feel. We feel the same. And you're like, but no. Or it's like the person, I'll never forget this. So this is when I was 18 years old. So when I was 18 years old, I dated Bobby Murphy. I think you guys are like, we already know that. We all know your whole history now, your whole dating history. No, you don't. You don't know this one. And I was an emancipated minor. So I was broke because I was still in high school because I'm a December child. You're like, we already know that too. I was born in December. So by the time I was 18 and then in December and then still had to go to school and graduate in June of the next year of 1981. So it was really hard because I'm trying to support myself and also at the same time go to school, high school. So Bobby pulled lumber on the Green Chain for Georgia Pacific and made a lot of money. I mean, they made a lot of money. It was a union. They made a lot of really good money, and he would work overtime all the time. So anyway, he had all this money and my boyfriend. And so what he buys me for Christmas is he buys me not something I need, like clothes to work in, clothes to go to school in. He buys me an Atari. I actually cried when I opened it. I started crying. What's the point of that? Because Bobby wanted it. I didn't want it. He wanted it. So it's that sort of thing where, like, it's selfishness because a person doesn't see what the other person or things need is. Like, giving that animal food is making her feel validated and happy and like she's taking care of something. But what she's actually doing is the opposite. So she shouldn't get, so really, I mean, the point being she should actually get validation from taking care of it literally and not feeding it too much. But for a lot of women, food is love. For a lot of men, food is love. So I think the best thing to do is not get validation from food. I'm reading, I'm sorry. And then it says, love learning new things. Yeah, me too, good. I'm going to teach you something right now, except I have to remember what my commitment was. You guys are like, are you that stupid? Yes, I am that stupid. If you really want to know the truth. You guys, my printer stopped working again. You're like, don't pull that shit with us, Natalie. You're a liar, pants on fire. You guys, I still have a sale on facebook.com/teeswatersheep, but I'm gonna, let me first look and see what I'm supposed to talk to you about. I'm so stupid. You guys just pity me. Pity me. Okay, I'm here. I'm downloading. Okay, I got it. Okay, it's Yarnorama and content. Okay, I am going to teach you something. You're like, oh, thank God, because this was getting boring. Okay, so I bought a bunch of luxury yarns from Europe and that aren't dyed. It's super easy to dye them, you guys, but I am going to do another class on it because I love teaching dyeing. So what Trisha and Kristen want me to do is do a class on teaching fades on different colorways that I have, like copper patina and like star magnolia. You're like, don't you have a pair of scissors? I don't. I was going to use my teeth, but one of my teeth is missing from, you guys are like, We already know that too. One of my teeth is missing from biting on it. And the thing was, this is actually an awesome story because I was yelling at my husband. I was really pissed off about something and I was shrill. And I was just grabbed a chocolate chip cookie and I was eating it. And as I'm just like really angry and I'm really irritated and I'm standing and I felt like a walnut. And so I spit it out in our sink, and our sink is stainless steel, and I heard a tink, tink. Okay, a walnut doesn't go tink. And I'm still like, you know, pissed off. And I heard the tink and I looked in there and then I was like, why is it white? I'm so dumb. Yeah. And why is it white? And then I was like, oh my God, that's my tooth. Then, because I'm so smart, I'm like, well, that's what super glue is for. So I use super glue and put it back because the ADD won't allow me to have something like that where I can see because it's on the side of my mouth. And so I super glue it back on, and then had my husband call the tribal, the dentist at Pachanga. And so they get me in right away, and they're like, don't ever super glue it back on. Ever. Not smart. Anyway, they were able to get it off, and then, like, anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, you know, could you get back to the point? I don't know why I talked about that. Okay, so this one is, you're like, because you looked at it before. Baby alpaca, mulberry silk, and cashmere. It's not even that expensive. And it's a 400-meter, 100-gram hank. It is super nice. Okay, so what is the thing? The thing that's I love about this is because it has luster. See, let me just say this right now. Alpaca, okay, I know you've heard that, sir, okay. The alpaca breeders were genius marketers. Genius. Remember the commercials with the big doe-eyed alpacas, and you should like take your retirement and invest them in alpacas. I just want you to know that most people lost their ass horribly because it was basically a pyramid scheme. And it was really horrible to do that to people. Never go into farming for money. But alpaca doesn't have, especially Wakaya, doesn't have really any luster. Anything that's fine, if it's fine, except for mohair and silk. Mohair and silk have an incredible amount of luster. But if you see like cashmere or like merino wool, it's matte. It's matte. And so, and Wakaya alpaca, for the most part, people will say Surrey has a lot of luster. Well, for alpaca, it has luster. But try and put it up against Wensleydale Teeswater, you know, or one of the luster long wools or silk, and you're just going to be like, what luster? I mean, I'm just the way it is. So the thing that's great about this combination is that it has alpaca in it. And to offset the fact that it's not going to have a lot of pickup dyes, really won't have a lot of shine, it has silk in it. But then also, they didn't do something stupid and put something that is a high micron in it besides. Because usually they'll put like, sometimes people will do blends like alpaca, like a super fine alpaca, and then they'll use like, to get the luster, they'll put like Wensleydale. So Wensleydale's like, you know, 35 micron. So it's prickly. Has a prickle factor. And then, you know, alpaca, let's just say like the average, I don't even know, let's say 22 microns or something. So what you've done is you haven't softened, you don't soften something, so you're not softening the Brillo pad. You're coarsening the alpaca. But in this instance, when they put something like cashmere in with alpaca, and then they put silk in it, they're making it more lustrous, and so that it picks up dyes amazingly well. And this yarn is beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's super nice. It's just super, and it dyes well because it has the silk in it. And I think it's fingering weight, but I'm not sure. It actually looks a little lighter than that, to be honest with you. Looks a tiny bit lighter than that. It's pretty awesome, though. I love it. Hi, Kristen. Kristen Davidson and Myra Ness. It's fingering. But not Myra. You're so good. It looks really. It looks a little bit. I'm gonna tell you. It looks. You know why though? Because it doesn't have. Okay, what happens is, if wool is the only natural fiber that has resilience. So something that's wool that is a fingering will look slightly like a slightly bigger gauge than something that is like alpaca because it will compact. And that's just the way it is. So like I'm a shepherd, so obviously I love anything with wool in it. I do. Do I like all wools? Obviously not. I don't like all wools, but I appreciate them for what they are. I might not like them for wearing them, but I will like them for something else. Like, let's say Navajo churros. Do I want to wear Navajo churro? No. Would I like it in one of my horse blankets? Under my saddle? Absolutely. Totally durable, super, super strong. You have to love them for what they are. Okay, and so this one, oh, this is the one that this is the one I totally love. This one is superwash merino and it's cashmere nylon. So you can have a sock yarn, and superwash, just let me tell you, superwash dyes amazing. It picks up dye beautifully. Everything is so vibrant and gorgeous. This one, oh my God, and it's so soft. And so what happens is because they put the nylon in there, it makes it strong. So normally, you know, cashmere socks and like a fine merino you don't really want is a sock yarn because it's not durable, right? It's going to pill. But because it's superwash, it's not going to pill. Because it has nylon, it's going to be strong. And it's good, and the cashmere makes it soft. You guys are like, and then I have a yak. You guys are like, do we have to go through all these? I'm just, you know, I'm just sharing. I want to share yarn. You're like, can we see it? See, this one I love because when it dyes, it's going to have like little beads. Like it looks like little beads. They like reflect light. How it's just the way that's just the way that this yarn was spun. It's gorgeous. I love this yarn. I love this yarn. I do love this one too. Love this one. You guys are like, don't move. Am I even showing you? Can you even see anything? You guys are like, this is so stupid. We can't see shit. And this one, oh, yak. Okay, yak silk. This one's yak silk, you guys. Baby yak. 50% mulberry silk. And you guys, so there's, you know, mulberry silk, and then there's Tessa. And Tessa is wild, and it's not white. And so then they have to bleach it, and it's not as fine as mulberry. You're like, you're just such a well of information. Very pretty yarn. See, and it's because it has the yak in it, and yak isn't white. It's almost white, but it's not quite. But it will dye as white. It will dye as white. Super pretty. Anyway, I wanted to share with you some of my pretty yarns. I have more than that. There's more than that on the site. Oh, but I'm going to show you because I did show you. It's Crazy 8. I have to show you. It's the 8 ply that I told you that I love so much that I'm making my sweater out of. You guys, I'm not kidding you. So I got more because I sold all of it and then used the rest. But see how round it is? And look at how springy it is. Look at that. It's actually, they list it as a sport weight, and I love, this yarn is so amazing, and it's superwash. It dyes so beautifully. They list it as a sport weight and as a DK weight because after you dye it and you wash it, it's like fluffs up. Well, it fluffs up. Why does it fluff up? Because what happens is when you have a super springy yarn like that, and it has wool in it, it will compact, the twist will compact it, and so then when you are dyeing it or washing it, then it like relaxes the twist a little bit, and when it relaxes the twist, then it fluffs up, and so it becomes a little bit of a higher weight, and that's why it goes from a sport to a DK. You're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. I actually do know what I'm talking about. Don't make fun of me. Just because I stutter. Oh, Carly's saying a dragon in silk clothing. And then Kristen is like, it will have nice drape. Yes. Alpaca. Alpaca is a very drapey fiber. It's not, you know, for something that you want resilience in and memory, it's not. You guys, my hair actually is this flat. In case you're wondering, I didn't use biofoam. That's a terrible name for a product. Biofoam, is it? I think it's bad. It just reminds me of like chemicals. But when you put it in your hand, shaving cream, and then I put it in my hair, but I'm out. So now you get the full, like, drowned wrap. And my hair is this straight. This is not flat iron. It is this. And it was in like, in the 1960s. But I'm not sure if the, you know, flat against your head look is in. I like it when it's a little more wild. And then Amber saying, you don't talk much about Angora rabbits. Okay. And then she said, I'm starting to think I need to do research on keeping sheep myself. Okay, I'll talk about Angora rabbits because I used to raise them, English Angoras. Betty Chu. So for those of you who know, Betty Chu was one of these people that has been raising rabbits forever. And she's like I want to say she's a judge. She is a judge, I'm pretty sure. But like getting one of her rabbits is really hard. She doesn't like to sell her rabbits to people, which instantly makes you want to get one. Like the minute somebody says, Natalie, you can't have it, I'm like, oh, yes, I can. Watch. And anyway, I ended up getting rabbits from Betty Chu. But she is able to grow the stable of her English Angoras ridiculously long. Like ridiculously long. Just silly long. But I want to say, at one time, the most I think I ever had was maybe 6. And it was such a nightmare for me because first of all, I was so worried that I had swamp coolers for them. And I was afraid in my barn the swamp coolers, like if the electricity ever went off, they'd be dead. But also, when you have Angoras, and people that have Angoras know this, I don't care if you've never brought that Angora rabbit into your house or near your truck, you know, acres and acres away. You will have Angora rabbit fur, like on your windshield wipers, on your toothbrush. Like there is no escaping having Angora wool everywhere, everywhere. And you're constantly picking it out of your eyes, like it's in your eyelashes. And you have to groom them. So like what I did, I didn't brush mine. What I do is I take a blower. That's how I started blowing off my sheep, is I bought a blower for my Angora rabbits. And they also have this like dander. They have a dander. It's a very silky feeling, but it's like it's their skin, I'm guessing, right? It's very dandery. And so this dander, this white powder is like shooting up in the air, and you're having to blow them off, and your allergies, like seriously. And I loved them. They were beautiful, but I have to be honest with you, like raising them was just, I never had a moment's peace except at night. I was always terrified they were going to die. I never did lose one to anything, but I was constantly in a state of panic. I love Angora rabbit because I love halos. So Angora rabbit gives a beautiful halo on yarns, as most people know. The thing that I don't care for about it, like I said, is that it you know, if someone hasn't dehaired it, like a lot of them can have the prickle factor, because while the wool itself might be super downy, if they are a rabbit that's not very good, it can have hair that's going to be a higher micron, and that hair is just like the outer coat of like a dog, and it's very prickly. It's very prickly, and so then you have this beautiful fiber that should be really soft, but then isn't. Or if it has a super short staple, it can be prickly because there's more surface area and it doesn't bend. So like if something is a little higher micron and short stapled, it's not going to be able to bend as well. That's why long wools are a coarse wool. So people that don't know, there's the fine wool, medium wool, and long wool sheep, and then there's primitives. The long wool sheep, as the micron starts to go up, really, honestly, to a degree that you no longer can wear it next to the skin. But when you touch it, it feels like you can. You touch it and you go, oh my God, this is so soft. So it has a soft handle. However, you cannot wear it next to your skin, and all you have to do is put it next to your neck to see that, and you're like, oh my God, it feels so soft, yet there's no way I could wear this next to my skin. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that, one, they don't have any hemp fibers, and the other is a lot of them don't, like the Teeswaters and onesies, and the other is that because of the long staple that the fibers bend. Like, we don't care. We just don't. Okay, moving on. I'm sorry, I have to scroll up because there's a lot of combo, which I like. And Sandy's Glass Jacket, is that yarn fingering weight? Yes. Unless you're talking about Crazy 8. That's DK. And then Deanna's Surrey and Silk is really yummy. Okay. I actually am trying to think if I've ever had a Surrey combo with Silk, and I don't think I have. And then Nancy's saying Alpaca's Hollow is super warm, it's very insulative. Superwash feels so nice. Charlene, I used to not like superwash at all, because the superwash yarns, normally in the comb top, that'll be superwash too. And so if you're touching comb top that is superwash, and you're touching comb top that is non-superwash, seriously, you can feel that the life has been completely sucked out of the superwash. So when there's no twist in it, when it's not made into yarn yet, it feels completely different. So I had a bias against superwash until I ordered yarns that were, I ordered a bunch of yarns. The first time I ordered a lot of yarns, I ordered, there were just some weights and some, the way they looked that I wanted that just happened to be superwash. So I got them kind of begrudgingly, and then tried to get, all the other yarns that I had were non-superwash. And then I started dyeing them, and I was like, okay, all right. It's really hard to dye non-superwash after dyeing superwash, because you're just a fucking genius. Like, you look at your work and you're like, wow, am I good with color or what? And then you go and do the same thing on non-superwash, and I was like, it's like, really? Yeah, it's just not. Superwash just picks up dye amazingly well, but it's because it's processed. Nancy's saying very lustrous, the yak and silk, and soft. And then the 50/50 yak silk is so pretty and shines like a diamond treasure. Oh, shishy. And then Penny saying memory, and that's with the wool, memory. And then Amber saying, I think it's fascinating. I have no idea what a yak feels like. There aren't many of them in Michigan. Actually, there are some yaks. You know who has yaks is a gal in New Jersey, and they're pretty awesome, to be honest with you. And it was so funny because I said to Trishy today, people think yaks are water buffalo, and she's like, they're not. They're not water buffalo. Water buffalo or water buffalo. But yaks have an undercoat, a downy undercoat, much like camel has a downy undercoat. Short staple undercoat. And then Carly's saying to Amber, the Angora is amazing. I love Angora rabbit. Raising them was really brutal for me because I love a halo. I do love a halo. So what I'll do is I'll take, okay, so if you get super kid mohair, like really super, like kid, like first clip, super kid, it often can be so soft, and so low micron and so lofty that as I'm shearing it, the breeze in Temecula comes up every day at about 4 o'clock, it's blowing away. And I'm not talking about a wind, I'm talking about a light breeze. It's blowing off my shearing rack, off of my platform. And I'm like reaching out as I've got this little tiny thing, and they're so little, like Angora kids, they're so tiny. But it's so incredibly soft. But what I'll do is I'll take it and then spin it into yarn and back comb it. So as I'm spinning it, usually if you put it on, if you use like a great one would actually be one of the other yarns that I have to use as a core, which is it's the kid mohair and silk. And then you take and if you have like a mohair yarn, they're very sticky. So things will stick to them. So if you take and you are putting on and using the mohair yarn as a core for the mohair, for the kid mohair, and then you're back combing it. So literally you could either run it back through, put it onto another bobbin, and just instead of spinning it, you're just back combing it, and then it makes the halo even more. And so you have this amazing halo. I just think halos are beautiful in yarn. I love halos. And why would you do that? If you wanted something that wasn't like a lace weight, if you wanted to use a mohair yarn that was super soft, had a lot of luster because it had silk in it, and you wanted it to not be a lace weight, you could take that mohair yarn that was lace weight and use it as a core and use kid mohair with it, and it would be awesome. And then Sandy's got check saying, are they all finger weight? No, they're not. There's some ones that are almost like, one of them actually looks like a worsted, but it's not. They call it a DK, but it does look worsted. There's quite a few. And then there's a great one that is a single. It's called Single and Fabulous, and it's super wash. So I love it, and it dyes amazingly well. And it also is great. Like I said, it's just so great because if you look at your yarn, let's say you take your hand spinning yarn and you kind of close your eyes like this and you look at it, and whatever color really is prominent to you when you're just kind of squinting, that's the color that you dye your base for whatever you're knitting with commercial yarn. You just dye it that color, and then it'll just intermingle between your hand spin, and it's awesome. And it's hard to find a superwash yarn in this weight, in my experience, in online. It's just a good yarn. It's a really good yarn. Okay. Let me see. My stomach's growling. And then Trishy's saying the Crazy 8 is Sport TK weight. It is. And then she's saying they're all on the Teeswater Sheep, facebook.com/Teeswater Sheep. And then Amber says I have tons of lint rollers. No shit. If you got Angora rabbits, baby, you got the lint rollers everywhere. It's like every room. It's not on the website. It's on, it's on Facebook, but. And then Angora is everywhere, Carly says, and she has 2 rabbits. She finds their fiber even in the room. I know. I'm telling you. I know. And then Charlene saying she purchased some alpaca socks and some hand-dyed yarns, and they're so nice and squishy. I love dyeing my own yarn. And then Hammer says, fun fact, reindeer are caribou. My annoying brother Googled it at Christmas just to prove me wrong. Oh, you were wrong? I hate when you're wrong. I just hate when you're wrong. Amber, I want you to be right. I want you to be right, baby. I want you to be right. Okay, I have to see what else I'm supposed to. I can't. Can you believe? It's like a colander. Like information goes into my brain that I'm supposed to do, and then, but at least I'm writing it down. Okay, Yarnorama. That was it. Okay, sweater vest and lizard. This lizard. Okay. I already got through smoking and single. I did that one. You guys are like, could we have our cue cards, please? Damn it! Tell my printer to stop being a dick. I want my, let me, I have to text Sean and tell someone to bring the, oh my God, you guys, I don't think you can see him. You're like, that's not what we want to see. We want to see him. I'm not squeamish about him, but he feels like he doesn't have any insides. It's like bones and skin. It's a little weird to hold him, and he's got that tail. Hang on. Last time they didn't. He's so beautiful. So and then somebody wrote, he's mad. That's why he's showing his like gray on his beard. And it's like, really? Because I was told that's because it was breeding season. And why is it that he's pissed off every day, this lizard? Because every day his beard is, oh my God, he's so cute. I just saw it on the thing. It was a Gelée, but I saw it. It was so cute. I'm like, that lizard is sexy. He's like, I'm going to do a colorway. I'm going to do a yarn color. You guys are like, what about the giveaway? Trisha, you got to pick someone. She's going to pick it random. Oh my God, you scared me. She's here with the lizard. I thought you were the mannequin. Like you were the mannequin. There's my daughter. Where's it biting?
You want my dog?
I want your dog. Here, thank you. Okay, you guys, get ready. You just hold him like this. It makes me so nervous, you guys.
Did you take his jacket off?
Did he take it off?
Yeah.
He took his jacket off, you guys. Asshole. So this is his jacket. He's so beautiful. I'm scared because I don't want to drop him because you guys would be like, and then Natalie dropped the lizard and her daughter had a heart attack and we did too. Look at how beautiful he is, you guys. He's a citrus. He's citrus or lemon. Or citrus lemon.
Citrus lemon.
Citrus lemon. Does he have any other titles?
There's like something else about hypo something, but
He's so... I'm telling you, I'm in love with this lizard's color. I'm a little afraid of him, which is so stupid. She sleeps with him under the covers every night. I know I already told you. She does. Here. Thank you so much for bringing him.
yeah.
Oh my God. You guys, he's so cute. Did you guys see him? I mean, did I hold him right? I was a little okay, I'm seeing now. He's so, I mean, he's so sweet. Dr. D. Doofin, whatever his name is. I don't even know. I don't know exactly what his name is, but it's something weird. And I just call him Dr. D. See, he got an erection. Did you see his tail? He's got Peyronie's disease. You guys are like, okay, don't be weird. Did she honestly just say that? Yes, she did. He's bigger than you thought. Amber had those. And I'll tell her, Nancy. You guys like him? I like him too. I know, and it's not abusive. He took it off, the little bastard. And there's not buttons. He had to like slip out of it. It's not, and it's actually form-fitting. Like I did short rows. I fit this little sucker around him because I wanted it to be. I mean, I wanted it to. You know why I wanted it to be a sweater vest? Because I didn't want his arms. You know, I didn't want to hurt his biceps. Getting his arms in, and he's got those little hands with the little claws on the end, and then you have to loop them through. You know, you guys are like, it's so. Okay, so everybody votes that I'm going to make another sweater. Okay, I am going to make this one another sweater. I don't think he dislikes it, despite what people think and the cruelty of it. It's not cruel. You know what's cruel? The fact that I'm sitting here with only one beer. That's cruel. Oh, yarn. Okay, because everybody wants a giveaway. Okay, I've got, let's see. I already sent out the other giveaway. You guys, I am so sorry. If you order stuff from me and I make a mistake, I will always fix it. I'm telling you, you have to take pity on me that my brain is, I mean, you guys, if you would have known this morning, I actually started crying because I'm just so overwhelmed and I have so much responsibility. I actually did. And it was hard because even alone, I don't want to cry. I mean, I'm so stoic. I really am that I don't want to cry in front of myself. And I'm trying not to cry and like my pants, you know, and I have like light color pants on. And all I can think of is as the tears are dripping onto my pants is my mascara getting up? Is it running? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, is my mascara running? Is it going to stain my pants? So stupid. But I tried not to. And I pulled myself out of it. Okay, so this is going to look really ugly. Stop it. It's because it's going through the internet. It's not ugly. It's actually beautiful. So it's sock weight. Fingering. Sock yarn is just fingering weight with nylon. Okay, so it's like, this is going to be variegated. So one side is going to be purple, and then the other side is going to be speckle. And so when you are knitting variegated yarn, you want to have multiple balls, I love saying that word, going at the same time so that you don't have, so that there's not a lot of variation, because if you don't, that's the dogs are making me nervous. Because if you don't, then, and you'll notice that, you know, because it's hand dyed, there's going to be variation. So to make it more uniform, you want to alternate rows. Which, you know, so what I do, so this is what I do. When I have two yarns going at the same time, for those people that aren't super knitting savvy, continental knit one color and have it on this side of the, on this finger and have your other one on and use a throw. So throw on one side and on the other side pick. And that way it's just seamless and you never end up having your yarn all wound around. You're like, well, Natalie, that was a great tip. Anyway, so this is the giveaway, and there are, let's see, I think there are 3 or 4 of them. They are, I want to say, are they 400 yards? I think they are. They're 400 yards. There's 4 of them. So there's 4 of them. You're like, well, last week, I think the person got more. Did they? I don't know. So yeah, it's pretty, it's like a super electric violet. And then it like is speckle. And it's actually quite beautiful. It doesn't photograph that well, but it's really beautiful in real life. So somebody gets all 4 of these. Whoever Trishy says, and it's superwash, by the way. It really a nice yarn, a good yarn. And whoever Trishy says is the person. Then you guys have to send me your email, your address, because email, I can't send that through email. And I will send it to you, and I'll try and do it in a timely fashion. I'll try and actually send you the right thing. I have a painfully bad track record all of December. I've just been such a fuck up. I honestly don't know why anybody buys anything from me anymore. You're like, they don't. But seriously, I don't know why. But I'm always remorseful. I'm highly remorseful. But I'm going to try and get my shit together, okay? Just take pity on me is all I can say. Okay, anyway. So, wait. Amber Whole Trust. Okay, well, that's the winner. I'm happy for you. Wait, please say you're going to do something with it, though. It'll make me feel good. If you just stuff it away. And if you hate it, you can give it to somebody else. I mean, you can always do that. But don't hate it until you knit it. I'm dead serious. It's really, like, especially with these yarns, you have to knit them before you start hating them. And the one thing that makes you want to knit is dyeing your own yarn, because you can't believe how beautiful it is. You can't believe you made it. And so we're gonna do a yarn colors class. If you guys, anyone's interested in it, it'll probably be a series. It'll probably be 4 classes. They're usually like an hour to an hour and a half, and it'll be online with perfect internet. I love Jenny, but I want to kill her over that. I really do. And my classes, when they find out, because I would like to lie and say something else, like it wasn't somehow connected to my fault, but it wasn't on Saturday. But on Sunday it was, because she wasn't here on Saturday. It was YouTube on Saturday. Anyway, okay, you guys, I'm done, because I gotta go drink. I gotta drink. I gotta drown my sorrows. I gotta drown my sorrows, baby. I'm kidding, not kidding. I'm just like, I'm gonna be a big girl, though. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. But if I do, I promise I'll take a picture of myself and then I'll send it to you. I'm not a very pretty crier. Okay, you guys, I want to see you next week, okay? And I really appreciate your support so much. And please, if you want to buy any fleece or any yarns, go to facebook.com/teeswatersheep, and they're still up there. And then Kristen will invoice you. You just comment on what you want and how many you want, whatever, and then Kristen will invoice you with shipping. If you live out of the country, you have to let her know, because then I will bill you shipping after I've already generated a label. I'm going to start getting things out tomorrow, but I want to tell you honestly how much I appreciate you guys. It's an honest, it just makes me feel so happy that you guys care about what I have to say, and I love to read your comments. Like, it makes me feel, it's really hollow. To be honest with you, Facebook commenting is really hollow, but this doesn't feel hollow, because it feels like we're really interacting, and it just makes me, it like warms my heart too, because you guys say a lot of uplifting things, and I learn. So anyway, we'll see you next Tuesday night, 6 o'clock. Be there or be square. Thank you, everybody, so much, and